Hi there. All right, we are looking at lesson 1-5 today, comparing and ordering decimals. So you need your book open to 1-5. I want to try to make sure it's got all of the board in there, and your packet, okay? Open your packet to 1-5, and you're going to be filling in the blanks and the you tries as we go here, okay? And then I always put the answers on the board, so be checking. It's kind of checking as you go, okay? All right, so we are comparing and ordering means greater than, less than, or equal to, okay? And you can see on your packet, I put it on here, what the symbols are, okay? So greater than, less than, equal to. So use this to help you as we go through this lesson, okay? It's kind of our little key, okay? Going to help you out. So if I take this first question, okay, at the top of the page in your book about where the bugs, okay, at the top of the page where the bugs are. How can you compare and order decimals? Scientists collected and measured the lengths of different cockroach species. I love science, so that sounds exciting to me. Which cockroach had the greater length, the American or the Oriental cockroach? Use these three steps to find out. So we're comparing the American and the Oriental cockroach. So we're going to be using these numbers that I have in your packet, okay? Those are the numbers from the Oriental and the American cockroach, all right? So they tell us to do that, I need to line them up and down, okay? Which is my first step that I put in your packet. Line up vertically. That means up and down. There's nothing for you to write down here. This is already on your packet, but I want to be able to point to some things here, so I'm copying it on the board, okay? So here's my two numbers lined up vertically. My second step is compare the digits in the same place, one at a time. And what I want you to add next to that, put kind of a little star next to those numbers. I'll show you right there. Put a little star there and put start at largest place. Hopefully you can see that. Sometimes I write a little small. There we go. My phone doesn't fall. Okay, start at largest place, okay? So the largest place in these numbers is the ones place, okay? Usually it's all the way to the left. And I'm going to compare them one at a time. I'm going to use a different color here so you'll see it'll stand out a little bit, okay? So if I start at my largest place, 3 and 3, they're the same. That doesn't help tell you which number is bigger. Then I go to my 10th place, 5 and 4. Well, this number has a 5 in the 10th place, so I'm done. I don't have to go any further. It does not matter what the rest of the digits are. This number is bigger. Okay, 3.576 is bigger. So look at step 3 because that's telling you what we just did. The place where the digits are different tells you which number is bigger. 3.576 is bigger because that 10th place digit is bigger. And I'm done. So now when they say to compare it, they mean they want me to write it as a greater than or less than symbol with the symbols in there, okay? So here's my problem. And I gave you a little trick here. Some kids like to think the alligator eats the bigger number, and that's great. A little bit of a quicker way is this. How to write the symbol? It says it right here in a box off to the side. 2 dots by the larger number. So this number's larger, so I'm going to put 2 dots there. And 1 dot by the smaller number. This number is smaller, so I'm going to put 1 dot there. And then I connect them to make my symbol. Okay? And how would I read this correctly? I would say 3 and 576 thousandths is greater than, that's my greater than symbol, 3 and 432 thousandths. Okay? All right. You try. You've got 2 you tries there, and I want you to try them, and you're going to pause the video, and then you're going to turn it back on, and we're going to do those together, and you're going to check your answers. Okay, the first one under you try was 3.972, circle, 3.906. Now, instead of writing them both up and down, what I tend to do is just pick one and write it underneath the other. So I'm going to write my 3.906 over here. So I don't have to write them both down again. And now I'm going to line them up. And I'm going to compare. Find a different color here. Orange. And here I start with my largest place, which is all the way to the left. So I've got 3 and 3, and they are the same. So that doesn't tell me which is bigger. I go to my 10th place, 9 and 9. That doesn't tell me what's bigger. I go to my 100th place, 7 and 0. I'm done. This number is bigger because the 7 is bigger than the 0 in the hundredths place. So now I do my 2 dots by the larger number, 1 dot by the smaller number, and the answer to that problem is greater than. 3 and 972 thousandths is greater than 3 and 906 thousandths. Okay, let's try the next one, number 2 that you did on the U try. 6.099 and 6.1. Again, like I said, I tend to just like to write one over here so they're already lined up. I don't have to write the numbers again. And now what I need to do is start with my largest place, the ones place. 6 and 6, that doesn't tell me what's bigger. 0 and 1. I'm done, I know which one's bigger, and it's this one. All the time I have kids tell me that this should be bigger, there's 9s in there. You're right, there is, but what's more, 99 cents or $1? $1 is more, okay? 99 cents has nothing in the ones place, and $1 has a 1 in the ones place. So just because there's some 9s in your number and not in the other, that doesn't matter, it's where they are. So here, because there is a 0 in the tens place and a 1 in the tens place, this number is bigger. So 2 dots by the bigger number, 1 dot by the smaller number. So the answer here is that 6 and 99 thousandths is smaller than 6 and 1/10, less than, okay? All right, let's go look at the next part on your packet. Is talking about ordering decimals. And that it talks about in your textbook where it says another example on page 16. So look on page 16 where it says another example. And in order to put the decimals numbers in order from least to greatest, I do the same thing. This is great because I'm using the same steps. And I put them in order, I line them up. So you don't have to write this. This is the example that's in your packet. But again, I want to do it with you up here. Okay. So now, before I do this with you, see if you can use what we just learned to figure out which of these numbers is the biggest. See if you can figure out what to do in your packet. Maybe you need to pause it for a minute, pause it, and you can tell me which one's biggest. All right. Ones place number, I start all the way on the left. I've got 2, 2, 2. So my ones place number does not tell me which is biggest. Now I go to my tens place, 4, 5, 9. I'm done. This is my biggest number. I'm going to put a 1 by it to show that it's number 1, the biggest. Which of these is my number 2 biggest? Second, the middle number would be this one. And 4 in the tens place is the smallest value. So that is the smallest number. So to write them in order from least to greatest, I would write 2. You know what? I should do these backwards. I'm going to leave the numbers the same, but look at the question. What is the order from least to greatest? So they actually want me to write the smallest number first. I should have used a 3, 2, 1, but that's okay. You're smart. You figure out what I'm doing. Here's my smallest value. So that one I'm actually going to write first. My middle value goes right here. And here's my largest value is right there. Okay, because I'm going least to greatest. Sometimes it'll say greatest to least. So just be careful about how they're asking the question. Okay. Okay. And I don't think there's back on this one. There's not, okay? So that is our lesson for today, and we're not doing lesson 1-6, okay? So don't worry about lesson 1-6. It's an odd lesson. Sometimes there's lessons in the book I don't care for and we skip, and that's going to be one of them. So that's our last new lesson, and you have all the answers to the reteaching questions that you can be using to help study for your test, which is coming up, okay? All right, have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye.